Hello! Today I'm going to do a workout that'll be a little bit longer than the ones I've done in the past. We're going to do 3 main sections involving the ball. We're going to use the tube, and we're going to use a light pair of hand weights, as you can see below. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a standing warm-up. Go ahead and march left and right. Step out, pump the arms, trying to warm ourselves up from head to toe. Press out. Remember to take this at your own pace. We're going for a perceived exertion rate of around 5. This one's going to be a full body workout. Working on our mobility and our strength gains today. Kick back our legs, warming up our hamstrings and our quadriceps. Step in, right, left. Walk out a little wider. Press out again. Now we're going to do just a little bit of balance work here. Press out one leg to each side. Hold. Lift it just a little bit off the floor. Put it down. March. Put out your foot. Lift it up just a little bit. Put it down. If that's difficult, feel free to hold on to your chair. Cross again. Kick our feet forward. Warming up our lats. Step out, very slow jacks, modified jacks. March. Let's press out again. Varying our height on our press outs. March, march, march. Now I'm going to step to the side of my chair to do some of our leg drills. Calf up, rock back on your toes, up, rock back, up, rock backwards. As your balance improves, You can try it without holding on to the chair if that is doable, but feel free to always hold on to that. Now, let's do our standing leg work. We're going to start, pick a leg, kick it out to the side, straight out to the side. We're going to do 8 of these. 5, 6, 8. Let's do the other side. 1, 2. Okay, back to your original leg. We've got these kickbacks that we need to do. On this one, we're curling our knee back towards the glutes. Then 8. Other side. 4, 5, 8. Now let's go back to the side. Kick as high up as you feel comfortable doing. It's more important to kick with control than trying to get it up too high. Other side. 4. All right. Now let's go back to our calves. Do another set of those. I'm going on my tippies and then going back, rocking back. It helps us a little bit on our balance. And our last move that we needed to do was kicking straight back, 8 on each side. Other side. March. In between doing this, we need to do one more set of these. Okay. First leg, kicking back. We're going to do 8. Make sure you're doing that squeeze at the top. That helps activate our glutes, which we know that we often don't use enough. We sit on them so much. Okay, now I'm going to go to the front of my chair, do a few squats. Remember to take these at your own pace. Do not have your knees go over your toes. You always want to sit back like you're sitting back into the chair. Go down as far as you can. This helps us get ready for any time we need to get up out of our chair, get up off of the toilet, any of those kind of things that are practical and that we'll need to do for our whole lives. Now on this last one, I'm going to go ahead and sit all the way back and sit down. going to do my marching from here. Toe tap. Now let's do out to the side, working on those abductor muscles. Now let's get a little bit of stretch in before we get started. Make sure you turn just a little bit in your chair. You can stretch this out. This area can get kind of tight on your hams and quads and your hip flexors. Your side. You can feel that kind of relaxing in the muscle there. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and start working with our tube. I looped mine through my chair, and if you have any questions on that, I can show you how to do that, but it's looped through there so that it's secure. And we're going to start off with a shoulder series, and it's going to work our back too. So I've got my weight, my tube up in front of me, and I'm going to be pulling it apart. This works our chest muscles too. Very important as we get older that we keep our muscle tone, because we start to lose some of our muscle strength if we don't do that. And this helps our bones so that we are less prone to osteoporosis. Just keeping our mobility. Okay, now I'm going to go into some shoulder presses, and when I do this, I'm going to do one at a time. And you want to lift out a little bit to the front at kind of an angle, like you're putting something on top of a shelf. Now let's do two challenge ones at the same time. All right, we'll go back to that, but let's give our arms a little bit of a break, and let's do some obliques and stomach work. I've got these right in front of me. I've mentioned before that the stomach is my least favorite area to work, but it's extremely important to do because our core is used for a lot of things, for balance and holding ourselves up. All right, I'm going to lean forward slightly to do a crunch. You should feel that in the center of your abdominals. Okay, now let's do some sides. I'm gonna put these both in one side, pull it across. Do 8 of them. Other side. Eight. Okay, now one last stomach movement. Put them back in both hands again. And I'm going to go elbow to knee. Just do this as far as you can comfortably. This kind of choreography also kind of works on our brains, since we got to be coordinated. All right. Now take a quick pause here. Stretch a little bit. All right. Let's go back to the top. This time we're going to do a chest press forward. Eight. Circle your shoulders back, get a little stretch in there. I know we're kind of working those a lot. All right, now let's do our reaching to put stuff up on the shelf. Remember to go out to the angle. That helps our range of motion. Now let's do 2 challenge ones at the same time. Now let's do our second set of our stomach work. Now remember, if you only lean forward as far as is comfortable for you, you want to get a workout, but you don't want to hurt anything. Okay, now we're putting on one hand. We're doing kind of like an axe chopping. All right, other side. All right, last stomach exercise. Remember, we're taking our elbow to our knee. All right. Let's take a minute to just relax our shoulders a little bit before we get into our hand weight section. And make sure to get a drink of water if you need it. Arm back. Circle forward. Kind of use those shoulders a decent amount. Okay, now I'm going to go into the weights section. All right. Going to start off with some tricep work. Going to do triceps, biceps, all the ceps. All right, lean forward slightly in the chair. You can also do this standing. I'll demonstrate that in a second. We're going straight back. Our elbows are locked against our body. You can use the water bottles if you need to, or light weights. I'll stand up and show you how to do it from the standing position. The most important thing, you don't want to flail your arm around. You want this locked in. It's just that part moving. Okay, now we're going to work the other side of the arms, the biceps. Curl them up. Let's do one at a time. All right. Now let's work a different part of the bicep. We're going to do what's called a hammer curl. It's when your weights are faced like this instead of like they're pointed straight up versus horizontal. We're doing them straight up. Do one at a time. Start. This works a different part of the bicep. 8. All right, now we're going to do an overhead press. Now, only press as much weight. If this is too much, you can always do this without the weight. We'll do one at a time. It's kind of like a punch. This one, we're not going above our head. We're just going straight out. All right. Let's take a quick pause here. back to our tricep kickbacks. Pause for a second. Now we'll do our biceps curls again. Now this time I want to do some wrist work too. Basically you're going to hold these weights, or if you want no weight, that's fine too. We're just going to gently curl our wrist back just a little bit. Can help with our dexterity a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and stretch that out a little bit. Stretch our side. Let's do some wrist circles since we use those. Go the other direction. Now we're going to do a little bit of leg work. We've done some when we were standing. We're going to do just a little more because we got to build these muscles up. I'm putting my weights right on the few inches above my knee, and I'm going to lift my toes up. Six, and do 10 of these. Now let's do one at a time. Kind of a different sensation there. Now, I'm going to do a few more squats. If you just want to remain seated, then I would say just tighten your muscles up and release them when I'm sitting back. 1. From the side view, you're sitting back. Only go back as far as you can, but you're definitely sitting back. You don't ever want to go like in front of your toes. That'll hurt your knees. You can also put your legs out a little bit further if your knees hurt. That can help some people with the squats. Remember, if you're staying seated, just tighten up your muscles and your legs and release. That can, just the tightening and tension can work those legs as well. I'm going to go ahead and set my weights down, and we're going to begin our ball series. Sit back in the chair. Just going to start by moving this around, getting some hand dexterity work. Gently squeeze this. You'll feel this across the chest. And release. Squeeze the ball with your fingers and your chest muscles, so you're working them at the same time. Release. All right, now holding this ball, let's press it out. This works on our range of motion a little bit, in our shoulders. Okay, now let's go. If you can go over your head like this, then let's do that. Otherwise, just raise it up to here if that's too exerting to go over your head. This works our lats. It's also working our fingers if you're pushing in there. I'm going to take the ball in one hand, reach across. This is working our lats. It's also working our side obliques. Now, I'm going to put the ball behind my back and just lean back into that to get a little bit of a stretch. That can feel pretty good after those movements we just did. Moving my fingers around, just stretch those a little bit. All right, let's go up to the top with this. One, 1 side, reach. Eight, switch sides. Squeeze. Okay, now let's go ahead and place this ball between our legs. We're going to work on our adductors. We worked on our abductors earlier. We're working on basically our inner legs. Squeeze and release. This helps us create balance in our legs. Got to work all the sides. I'm holding this for a few seconds. Tighten. Release. Release. Now if you feel like it, you can add in some movement while you're holding this. Kind of works other stuff, but it's also a distraction. Okay, let's do a few more hand movements and then we're going to move on to our final stretching. Make sure you stretch with all those fingers. Okay, let's start cooling down. Shoulder rolls. Let's do 8 each direction. We worked those kind of a lot today. Reverse direction. Let's do our ankle work. Circle. Now try writing your name with your ankle. Take some coordination. Make sure to dot the I's. If you got a T in there, make sure you get that in there. If you're hyphenated, that might take a little longer to spell your name. But it's good for our coordination. Let's do the other side. Other direction. Spell your name again on this side. Dot the I's, cross the T's. All right, while we got our legs out there, let's give ourselves a thigh stretch. Stretching the back of our legs, and it stretches the front some. I like to press down a little bit because I feel like I get a little deeper of a stretch. Only do that if that doesn't hurt you. Switch sides. Okay, put one leg, gently press down, open up our hip flexors. Switch sides. Try to hug your knee in. Stretching the back of the leg there and the glute. Other side. Lean forward just a little bit, stretch our back. One shoulder forward. Other shoulder. Do that again. Feels like a good stretch. One Here I'm going to stretch my wrist. Don't push harder than, like, don't take that out of the normal range of motion, but if you can stretch those forearms, that can release a lot of tension in there. Just go at your own pace on that. Let's one arm over, stretching across our arm here, our shoulder. I did kind of a lot of shoulder work, stretching my fingers. Other side. Let's give our biceps a stretch. Our fingers up, fingers down. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Stretches those biceps pretty good. Tricep. Other side. Let's open up our chest. You can reach back and grab your chair to stretch that out a little bit. All right,